Hey, it's time at Dish with D. That's me. And that's Slim. That's him. He joins me occasionally. He's my sidekick. You know, what's his name? What's his name? I was going to say Johnny Carson and Ed McMahon, and I couldn't get it out of my head. Yeah, Johnny Carson and Ed McMahon. I have Slim the Straw. All right, Slim, your 10 minutes of fame is over. So today is Wednesday, and today is Wednesday Wisdom for Weight Loss. I am so happy that you guys, that this video, I can't think what I want to say, resonates with a lot of you. I really enjoy doing it. It is my answers to your questions. I posted in my Facebook group. You could leave it in the comments of this video or any of the Wednesday Wisdom video that you're watching. And I will read it and answer it as best I can. I answer it in my perspective as a Weight Watchers lifetime member. I'm not very happy with Weight Watchers right now, but that's not what this video is about. This video is about what you want to hear my opinion about. So the couple from last week on the video were calories. How many calories do we know we need a day? That is up to an app. I mean, you know, or of course your doctor is always a good one to ask too. But if you get those calorie counting apps that you put all your information in, your height, weight, age, yada, 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 activity, it'll give you a calorie number to shoot for. So that's what you say. If you are a serious person wants to count calories, God bless you. That's what I would recommend. There's several apps out there. Lose It has it. I would suggest iTrackBytes Healthy, because they do WW All Blue Plan, and you can buy the premium and it will count calories, and you just have to load it in once. I like that. All you double trackers out there, God bless you. I don't think I could double track. I don't have that much time. I don't know how you do it. I really don't. And here's the thing. Do one or the other. If you're double tracking, just do one. To double track is like, I don't know, it's going to drive you nuts. And we don't want to, that's what spurs you into binging, because you're just going, don't care anymore. So pick one. If you want to do calories, do calories. If you want to do points, do points. Like, pick your poison. You eventually know where you need to fall point wise. So you don't really need to say, well, I need to double track because I'm under eating. True, you can be, but you kind of know where you need to fall in your points. Like, I'm going to tell you, you need to get in those weeklies. And if you're not, and that's every day, not just occasionally, every day. So somebody asked about protein, upping your protein. Protein seems to be the rage all over here anymore. Yes, you should eat more protein. Absolutely keeps you full. It's good for you. But just be careful, because sometimes too much protein isn't good, number one, depending on what health problems you have. Number two, can you maintain that amount of protein? Like, here's the thing. It's like with anything. Can you maintain this? You're doing this to have maintenance. And if you're doing it to lose weight, and then you think, once I lost weight, I'm not going to do this anymore, it doesn't work that way. What you do, you have to continue to do. What spurred you to lose weight is going to keep the weight off. It's science. It's science. It truly is. So I'm just putting that out there. If you want to eat 150 grams of protein a day, fantastic. But no, you're going to have to continue to have a clip of protein between 130 to keep that weight off. So just remember that. Always remember that. I try to keep things in balance, in a workable number. That's why I say, you don't have a lot of protein, do you? I keep it around 80 because it's something I can continue to do. Because if you're over that 100 mark, you're having to constantly buy supplements. That's the only way to get that protein over 100, between 130 to 150. You're going to be happy doing some kind of supplements. And are you prepared to be buying them for the long haul? Because that's the only way it's going to work. And I don't be Nelly negative on that. I'm just saying, just be prepared for that, is all I'm saying. So let's go to the questions from the Facebook group. I recently lost 20 pounds. Can you please talk about portion control and how much is good to eat? Portion control is the answer. It is the golden rule, and they don't talk about it enough. They talk more about 0-point foods than they do about portion control. And if you look on I don't have any packages in front of me, but if you go on packages, there is serving sizes. So that's telling you USDA is recommending this is the serving size for this product you should eat. I know we all don't love the USDA, but they are right there. Well, what we should be eating. Like, that's why I tell people, you could have boxed mac and cheese. Just stick to the serving size. We never did. We just put in our plate what we wanted to eat versus what we should eat. And that's a hard thing to change because we think what we're eating is correct and it's not. So I would say read labels, look at the portion size, weigh and measure everything so you know you're eating the correct amount. How much is good to eat? That, I always say stick to portions. Stick to what the recommended is. I did put that little My Plate, the US. I know a lot of people don't like the US, but I'm going to put that link again down here below. That gives a lot of good information. It is it's a recommendation from the class that I'm taking, and it's kind of really a good one. I will link that down below. It's free. You can go on there, and it's called My Plate, and it can tell you, they always, Weight Watchers would tell you like the palm of your hand, with vegetables, you don't have to worry about it because it's vegetables. Fruit, you should definitely be very cognizant of what you're eating because fruit is high in sugar. Fruit has some carbs in there. So you just have to be careful of the amount of it you eat. It's a good option, yes, but anything can be a bad option in the amount. Even good food, you could say, well, this is really good. It is, but you can't eat a crap ton of it. Moderation is always the key. So I will link that below because I couldn't tell you, how much is good to eat because that's not my place really. But I think that website will help you. What is your weigh-in eve meal? Do you ever just have a protein shake as a meal before weigh-in? No. Back in the day, we're going back like 4 years. I used to get weighed on Tuesdays, and I went with a group of a few women, and they called it Starvation Tuesday because we got weighed in at 6 o'clock or 6:30, something like that. So they would starve all day. And then I thought to myself, so I started doing it because they were doing it. And I thought, and, you'll see better results if you starved all day. But is that an accurate result? It's not. I didn't eat all day. So that's not an accurate result of what I really weigh because I didn't eat all day. Is that normal? No. So I just started eating. And I thought it's going to show a loss. It might not be 1.5 pounds because I starved all day, but it's still going to show a loss and you're going to see that build. I do have a weigh-in routine. I did have to do a whole video on what I eat. I thought I remember to link that. If I don't link it up in the cards, I could link it at the end of the video. I should write me a note. Link video, because I don't remember to do that. Link day before weigh-in. And what I like to have for dinner is usually fish. Yep. Usually salmon, if I have tilapia or flounder or cod. Mostly, we seem to buy a lot of salmon here, so I seem to try to have a lot of salmon. I try to have maybe more vegetables that day than I would normally have. Like maybe I'll do a vegetable, like I might not have a carb at dinner that night. I might have a salad, and I usually do like a stir fry of whatever vegetables I have, carrots, zucchini, onions, peppers, and I serve the fish on that. So am I eating a little bit less? Probably. I would say I probably am. I wouldn't do a shake. A shake is not a meal. I need to chew my food. Honestly, when I use those protein shakes or snacks, I need to eat. Only time I've ever used them as a meal if I have one in the car and I just can't stop because there's just no place around. But yeah, Denise likes to chew her food. And I tell it to Steve, if we're out, this is a little side note, say we're at the winery and we're having, some wine tastings, and they'll order little appetizers, and like pickies. And he'll say, well, this, I guess this will be dinner. I'm like, it's not dinner, it's pickies. I mean, some days if I'm not eating or we'll bring the cheese and crackers to the winery and we're having that. But that to me it's filling, it's high in calories, but it's not dinner to me. I need to have my plate with my protein, so, and cut to me, that's dinner. When I'm not sitting having a meal, that's not dinner to me. I know it's probably a mental thing, but I don't feel like, even though I had enough caloric wise, cheese and crackers to, feed an elephant, I don't feel satisfied. Not doesn't mean I didn't feel, not that I'm hungry. I don't feel satisfied up here. And that's the thing with this. You have to feel satisfied up here as much as we think we're looking for it down here. It's mental satisfaction. And I'm not mentally satisfied with cheese and crackers for dinner. So I still want to eat. And then say we go out and we've gone to a restaurant and I order something and I start eating and I'm full. I pack it up and take it home. But it's this, if we can get this sucker on board, things would be better. But that's a head hunger thing. That is just my mentality. So I know it, I recognize it. So I try to have less cheese and crackers when we're at the winery so I can eat my dinner that I really, truly want. But yeah, but my routine is definitely fish. Occasionally I've had pizza. I have. The last few times I've had pizza. And I've lost that next day. If you have that mentality that you need to starve before weigh-in, that's diet mentality. We don't need to starve before weigh-in. The scale's going to say what the scale's going to say. Like I always say, is it reading correctly? It's just that's what it reads at that particular time. Doesn't mean you've gained, doesn't mean you've really lost. It's just that's what it's weighing then. You can go on different times and it'd be different. Remember, and I say this all a million times and I'll say it a million times more. Weight is a variable. It could be different 10 minutes. It could be different an hour. It can go like this. So always remember that. I think that's why when I get up and I'm on this scale, granted 3.8 was a big one. No, 2.8. 3.8. 2.8 was a big one. I don't know how much of a variable that was, but I might have had a slight gain, but I feel like that was just not a true representation of my week. How do you spur weight loss to kick back in when you're at a plateau? I think being on plan long enough, I realize that plateaus happen. Plateaus are normal. I just have to keep fighting through it. Sometimes changing up what I'm eating because I'm a creature of habit. We know that Dee loves her oats. She loves her flatbreads. I do. So maybe I change it up a little bit. Maybe go a little bit lower carb, not low, lower. Like maybe instead of, 110, I go to 80 or 90. Or you will say low carb works. Dang, if I could only live my life like that. So I try to change up the foods I'm eating, throw more vegetables in there, and try to add the beverage. I always feel like when I'm at a plateau, the water helps. It does. But it's just know that it's normal. You just have to keep knowing that you're doing the best you can. You can't let that plateau rule you and say you're not doing well, so you need to eat more. I mean, you can eat more, and people have said there's that Springle technique where you eat above your points, below your points, at your points, so you do different every day, so it changes up your metabolism. So that's always a fun thing to try. Like if you're a person that eats 23 every day, try eating, well, you should be eating more than 23 every day, but if you're eating like a set amount, try to go a little bit above it and then go a little bit below it and then go at it, but with good stuff. Like again, I always tell people, I'm not telling you to eat cake. Like I think people, well, she's saying eat cake. No, she's not. She's saying like eat more protein, eat more carbs, eat a little bit more rice. It might be good. As we are losing, we start feeling amazing. How do you keep it at it and not lose momentum? I know I'm not near goal, but it feels great to be here, that way up there. I just want to make sure I keep going and sticking with it. Always remember like pictures. I always say, look back at a picture where you were. And and you realize you're making better choices in general. It's not all about losing every week. It's just about making those better choices every week. And we're in a lifestyle. And sometimes lifestyles get a little bit boring. They do. But you know what? You're eating good food. You're not eating diet food. You're not sitting there starving yourself to get that number on the scale that you need. You're eating really good food and you're enjoying life. It's about enjoying life. I think a lot of us forget about that. We're so focused on our plan. We forget about that life is around us. Don't not go to parties. Don't turn down invitations. Go out and enjoy it. If you want that adult beverage, have one. Nobody says not to have any. I mean, you shouldn't have 5, but you could have 1, maybe 2, and then work it in your plan and try to find low cocktails. Like wine spritzers are so fantastic because you have half the wine and it's seltzer. So you could have 2 of them for really 1 glass of wine. So definitely enjoy where you're at. Enjoy your food. Enjoy your life. And things will just keep happening. Slow but sure. Turtles win the race eventually. They do. So keep at it. When you put a little bit of olive oil in your skillet to saute vegetables, do you count that oil? No. I use the sprayer, number 1. Number 2, I keep a set point that I don't go into on my weeklies just for that stuff like that. So no, and I use olive oil. I'm not using vegetable oil. I'm not using canola oil. I'm not a huge fan of avocado oil, honestly. I don't like the way it tastes. But I do love extra virgin olive oil, light olive oil. That's what I tend to use. And I do check your oil. Make sure you're not buying a blend. Because a lot of times you'll see this, oh, this is a good price on olive oil. When you read it, it's a blend. So you want to get pure olive oil. Like I said, and get a sprayer. I have that one on Amazon. It's that little, it looks like a, almost like a water bottle. It's red, and it has a nice good stream, and I spray it on my salad. I spray it on my pans. It's definitely how I do. Do you use eggs, liquid eggs, or egg substitutes in your diet, and why do you use them? I use egg whites. I use egg substitutes. Sometimes you don't want a whole egg. You know, I mean, let's face it. Depending on what time, where we're at, eggs are good, eggs are bad, eggs are good, eggs are bad. Eggs have high cholesterol. It's a proven fact. They're probably they're finding it's not the bad cholesterol now. I mean, this depends on the mood of the scientists, really. With the price of eggs, it was almost cheaper to get egg substitutes and egg whites than it was to buy eggs. I like mixing my liquid egg whites with my eggs, so it's kind of giving me a little bit more zzz, but not as much yolk. I'm more of a white girl anyway when it comes to my eggs. I don't, especially even the hard-boiled ones, I could throw that middle of the wine to eat the egg white. Quite honestly, I don't really care for the yolk, but it's not a preference of this lower calorie or lower point. I just kind of like to bulk it up, and I feel like sometimes affordability is so much cheaper. I've gotten egg beaters. I've gotten them all. I don't feel any of them are bad. It's just whatever your budget allows. So I like to have, a little bit of everything, if that makes sense. Do you incorporate beans and legumes into your diet? Oh yeah. Do you not watch my channel? I love beans. I never was a big bean person, but when beans became 0 points, I knew I had to try them and experiment with them. And that's the thing. Like, a lot of you who don't like beans, you just got to find a different way to prepare them. Maybe you'll like them this way or that way. I started with bean dips. That's how I started making. You can make a white bean dip, grind those white beans up, chickpeas, we all know. And then I just enjoy them in salads. I enjoy them in just mixed into a stir fry with some vegetables, some white beans or some black beans. And we enjoy just black beans sprinkled on our tacos. They're filling. They're full of fiber. They're just a great, great source. And I think that they're underutilized. I'm not a huge lima bean person. I don't know if I can ever get that. I do love all types. Like I said, they can make great, start out with dips, especially white beans, cannellinis. You can grind them with garlic and lemon juice and make a fantastic dip. It's really good. It's smooth. Get them suckers smooth. I just enjoy them. I don't know. I just feel like in the back of my head, I know they're good for me. And I think that's what's given me and look up how to do them different ways. And you will find oh yeah, I never tried thinking about that or doing that. Like I said, I threw it in a Trader Joe's. It was the gnocchi sorrentino. It was a gnocchi that came with a tomato sauce, and so I added tuna, and then I added a can of white beans to it. It was fantastic. It really was, and it's just something it's just a little protein, a little fiber that just it's packed with a lot of good nutrient benefits. And you just have to find a way that you might like it. And the hummuses were, to me, the easiest vehicle for the chickpeas. Now, back when I was growing up, we had pasta and peas, pasta and beans, and pasta and peas, pasta and beans. So I have grown up eating chickpeas. That was some people use cannellinis. I prefer cannellinis and pasta and beans. My mother always made chickpeas. They don't soften up. But the cannellinis are nice and creamy, and it's so good with pasta and tomato sauce. And think about it, it stretches out your pasta, and it's a 0 point option. So if you've never, I think I have a pasta fazool up here on the channel. I think I do. I know I have a recipe. I don't know if I've ever made it for the channel. I feel like I did, but I don't remember. But that, you can make it more soupy. My mother made it more stewy, so it was very thick, and it sucked up all the sauce. Where I make mine now more like a soup. That's how I always liked it. But my mom makes it, she makes it her way. When you make it your way. But put soups, like minestrone soup has now become one of my favorite soups. Put beans in soup. I just think you have to get past, you just realize that I always say with anything, it's an acquired taste. You don't like something if you don't have it. But if you keep incorporating it, you'll see you'll acquire a taste for it. It's kind of like yogurt. When I hear the people say, oh, I can't like the non-fat Greek yogurt, it's too sour. It is. But when you incorporate it and buy a really good brand, your palate gets adjusted to it, and you get it, you acquire a taste for it. Same thing for me with the seltzers. I hate seltzer, but now that I'm trying different ones and trying different brands and having it more often, my palate is softening towards it. I think we have to get our palates adjusted to all these things. If you've never had it, of course you're not gonna like it, but you have to find different ways to make it and just keep trying it. And your palate, I think your palate will adjust. I do. I'm caught in the diet binge cycle and I can't pull myself out. How could I make the program work for me if I could stick to it? I'm feeling hopeless. Well, the days that you binge, I'm going to assume it's after weigh-in because that's when we usually binge. #binger. Take yourself out of that pattern, which is if you get weighed and go home, you're going to go right to the food. If you're getting weighed at a studio, bring your breakfast and then go out. Go somewhere. Go visit somebody. Do not go home. Do not stop at a restaurant. Do not meet anybody for lunch. Just go out there and meet somebody and maybe pack your food for the day. I had a girl at a meeting. She used to pack. She was a person who worked outside the house and then she started working from home and she got into the pattern of eating too much. So then she just started packing her food in her lunchbox. So she only eat out of her lunchbox. So maybe for that day, you pack your food in a box. And that's all you're going to eat. And tell the people you live with, help me out. Sometimes they will, sometimes they won't. But try that. Try either going out, trying a different pattern of the day, or packing your food for that day. Have it pointed out, have it packed, and that is the only food you're going to eat. Keep yourself busy. Keep yourself out of the kitchen. If we're close to the kitchen, we tend to eat. Don't have anything around that you can't afford to snack on, because you're going to go for it. Clean out. If your others in the house have things, put them in their own little place that you don't need to look at. Because if you see it, you want it. So that's the things I would suggest. I hope that helps. With everything going on with Weight Watchers, could you do a tutorial on the Healthy app? I actually have one. I don't know how old it is, but I will link it. But I do have one. Yeah, it's a really good app. You do have to get the premium to have all the bells and whistles, which is, I think, the recipe builder. And I don't know if you get the scanner for the base one. And you get the whole recipe log that, they make you, that you have, in order to get all the fun recipes, you got to belong. And I think it's $29 a year. I know somebody that can give you $5 off. If you're interested in that $5 off code, let me know. I will seek her out and get that $5 code for you. That gives you $5 off for the year. And that's, like I said, it's $29 for the whole year. And is the app as good as Weight Watchers? It doesn't have as many bells and whistles, but it's a good app. It's a good app. I think it'll give you exactly what you need. I think Weight Watchers app has really too much going on. A lot of people don't even utilize half the stuff on there. So I think for your purposes, it will do you well. And buying the premium gives you that benefit of having the points and calories done at the same time. You enter it once, it does it both, which I think is fantastic for people that want to do that. This way you're not having two different apps. I just don't know how you do that. I don't know how you double track. I don't know why you double track. Follow one thing. To me, it's if you want to do calories and macros, do them. If you want to do points, do it. To do both is insanity. That's why I don't give out calories to my people ask me all the time, "Are you going to give me the calories?" No, I don't count calories. So for me to do double work would drive me insane. You'd see me locked up in some asylum, talking to myself, going, yeah, because that's what it's going to do. It's going to drive you nuts. And when you're driven nuts, you don't follow either. Let me point that out. You don't. And you have these we want to get rid of the stress. And half the stress is double tracking. All right. I have found that adding potatoes a couple times a week. Does anyone else add extras to what they eat? There's nothing wrong with potatoes. I think a lot of people got really upset when potatoes got pointed, but you realize you get a lot of potatoes for the points. I mean, when I make my hash waffles, I can get away with 1 point of potatoes and have a really good breakfast. And 2 points of potatoes, it's fantastic. We have weeklies. If you want to eat potatoes, eat potatoes. There's nothing wrong with eating potatoes. There's nothing wrong with it. I always feel in your dinner plate, you definitely need to have a carb starch, whether it be potatoes, whether it be rice, whether it be pasta. It has to be something, because if you're eating just vegetables, you're going to be hungry. You are. So you need something that's going to stick to your ribs and your gut. So it might be a pasta, might be a rice, might be a potato. You need to have, protein's great. It's fantastic. But we need to double, especially for dinner. And if you're snacking after dinner, what are you eating for dinner? I've talked to people, she's a big nighttime snacker, but she only eats protein and vegetables for dinner. Not always. Not every day, but she does every day. Like, that's just not. Don't be afraid of a carb. Carbs get bad raps. They do, but we need them. It is part of the building blocks of our day. So don't always, not eating carbs. Yes, we metabolize carbs different when we get older. That's definitely true. We definitely need to be conscious of our carbs. We shouldn't be having unlimited carbs. We definitely need to know what we're eating. And if you're having trouble, try doing the carb conscious idea, where you're just limiting to 110 grams of carbs is not low carb. Low carb is anything below like 40. There's some people on keto eating 20 grams of carbs a day. That's insane. My oatmeal is more than that, just from my oats. But like, there was a doctor who told one of my lovelies that he says 35 carbs per meal is a number to shoot for. That comes to 105 carbs. That's a great number. And that, when you think about it, you break it down into meals, is much easier than trying to sit there and, what's the number? So you need to definitely incorporate all foods into your diet. Nothing is off limits. It's just about portion control, serving sizes. I did a whole video one time of the secrets to weight loss. I had the secret. And the secret was portion control and servings. And something we think about it before you were on a healthy lifestyle journey, did you look at the serving size of anything? I didn't. I just put what I wanted on there. Yeah. That's what got me here. Okay. What I've been experiencing lately with friends and family is non-understanding. I've been on Weight Watchers almost a year now, and I've made it to goal weight. Awesome. But my mom keeps telling me when I go to events, bringing my own food is rude. And my friend last night told me that I'm obsessed with my weight, and it's not a good thing for mental health. We went out for dinner. I had pizza. So I was saying that tomorrow I really got to kick it into gear and get back on track. And she said, that's not a way to live. My question is for you. What do you say to family and friends who just don't understand Weight Watchers, that keep calling it a diet and keep saying it's a lifestyle? It's hard to explain to anyone that's not on my life lately. I feel like everyone is just poorly and not supportive. That's hard. It's hard when people look at you. They don't know where you've been and the mental struggle that you have being overweight. Because if people that are telling you this have never had a weight issue, that's the number one thing. People who have not had a weight issue don't understand people who do. They just think, oh, you're nuts, you're crazy, just pull yourself away. They don't understand, they don't understand what the food means to us and how we can go off the deep end at any given moment. Maybe this might not be the advice you want. Maybe just stop talking to them about, don't mention your food or your weight loss to them anymore. Like you express saying, I got to kick it into gear. Maybe you don't need to express it to them. Express it to the group. Like, that's why the group is here. Put those feelings into people who understand, is what I would suggest. Obviously, you can't share that part of your life with your family because they don't get it. And people who aren't on a weight loss journey don't. They don't understand. So you're not crazy. You're not, you're living in the real world, and that's what the real world thinks of us. So my suggestion is, you have us, a community here. You need to tell us all these things. Maybe you're eating dinner and you're having this pizza. Pick up your phone, log into the group, and just post it there. I'm having pizza right now. Give me some encouraging words to get me back on track, or make sure I'm going to kick it into gear tomorrow. And people will be like, yeah, you got this, girl. You can do it. It's only pizza tonight. You got it tomorrow. That's what I would suggest. Your community's got you. Those people, they don't understand. And I think it took a while for me to realize that it's not their fault. They don't understand because they don't live it, and they can't understand. So when you take the blame off of, when we expect things from people, they just can't do it. They're not capable of that. That's a really eye-opening thing. Like when you get upset with someone because they're not doing what you think that they should, or say what you think that they should say, you realize they're just not capable of it. It's not you, it's them. And you can't expect them to be something that they can't. And that took me a really while to realize that I expect something from someone that they are just impossible to give me. And you need to move on. I mean, I'm not saying not be friends with them and not go out with them, but don't share that part of your life with them, because they're just not going to get it. And it's not their fault, and it's not you, it's them. And they're not going to get that lifestyle. And it's hard because you want to share everything with your friends and your family. You just want them to like embrace you and say, oh my gosh, I get that. But we got you. And we're a very supportive friend group on Dish with Dee's crew. If you have not joined the Facebook group, you should. You will get what you need. Even posting in the comment section of the videos, somebody is bound to say something positive to you. You need to hear something positive for somebody that's living the life like you are, that's fighting the fight. And it's a fight. It is quite the fight. And we fight every day to stay above water. And they don't understand that. Yeah, just stop eating. It's just food. Just get off the table. They have no idea the struggle it is. They have no idea. All right. That was pretty deep. I recently did Kickstart in Zoom, and the coach had her dashboard up on the screen. She had over 100 weekly fitness points, which seems super high to me. I did quite a few days of normal going about my daily walking and thought was good. Someone asked, and she admitted it was high. But she's a fitness instructor and she's been doing a lot of subbing, even more classes than normal. Here's the issue. When she said she can't eat all those points or she won't maintain her weight, this seems very problematic to me, because isn't it all about the science? And if she's earning those points, shouldn't she be able to eat them and still maintain according to the way Weight Watchers program is designed? I felt like she was contradicting the whole principle of the program. Here's the funny thing. And you will see a lot of people who are really heavy people who work out, who get a lot of points. They get close to 100 weeklies. I don't work out hard though. I mean, I'm in the 50s, maybe early 60s, but I do not do these intense workouts. They're afraid. Because they've undereaten so long that if they eat those points, they will gain. Not forever, but in the beginning. And you'll see that with a lot of people. You see with the calories and the points that they're eating, that they're not eating enough. And because we've been on it, we know what food looks like. We know what we should be eating, and they're not eating it. So she's not living the lifestyle at all. I agree with you. She is probably so afraid. And I think with a lot of people who have lost a lot of weight, they are afraid. Some people get to that crazy stage, as I like to call it, where they're afraid of food. They're afraid to eat. They will skip meals. They will eat hardly anything but they'll justify it by saying, oh, this is that. And in your mind that that's not enough. It's hard. Some people get to that point where they have a problem with food. Our job is to have a better relationship with food. That's what I don't want to, go from overeating to undereating. And that's obviously what she's doing. I don't want to get to that point. I don't want to become obsessed with my weight. And when you have this low goal, which I'm sure she does, you get a little bit nuts. So I always say, pick the higher goal, live your life, and don't have those obsessive things about that number on the scale being X amount, because that does not make you healthy. And I'm so sick and tired of hearing that you're not healthy because I am so healthy. We are healthy. We don't need any, somebody that's below their goal to sit there and tell me that I'm not healthy, when obviously they're not healthy. If they're doing that to maintain their weight, that's not healthy. That's not sustainable for the long haul, for the rest of their life. You're going to sleep. She's going to be very problematic in a few years, and she's going to ruin her metabolism. She's going to things are going to pop up with her health-wise. It's just inevitable. You need to eat. You need to eat healthy, and if you're burning that amount, you need to eat it. That is why you get it. There's a reason why you get points. There's a reason why you get calories on apps, because you need to. And if you're not eating them, you're not eating properly. That's my opinion. You can agree, you can disagree. Like I said, I'm not here to tell, I'm just giving you my opinion on the subject. So that is the last one. My God, there were some really good ones this week. If you are new here, welcome. We've had a lot of influx of new subscribers. Thank you. And if you are watching this and haven't yet subscribed, hit that button. It helps out my channel. It helps out my channel when you thumbs up, when you comment. It's all about, interaction. When my video gets well viewed, when it gets well interacted, YouTube likes to share me with a bigger network. And then we have exploded here, haven't we? But we are not done yet. This is a little channel that could, and I can't do this without you. And I thank you from the bottom of my heart for everything that you do for Dish with D and this community. It's fantastic. Like I said, the group, Dish with D's Crew, is linked in the description box below. There's a lot of information in the description box below. Go check it out. Join us on Facebook. Join me on Instagram. Join me on TikTok. I share quick food ideas. I share support. I share realistic food, realistic weight loss, realistic life. I don't give you diet here. I don't. So if you're looking for diet, this might not be the channel for you. I am looking at healthy lifestyle. I'm looking at eating and just being healthy overall, because losing over 100 pounds puts life into perspective. It does. I don't have a crazy goal. I am not, one of those people that's fighting to stay below my goal. I am above my goal and I'm happy there. And it's all about inner peace, inner happiness. And don't let food be your inner peace and inner happiness. Life needs to be. So that is it for me today. If you enjoyed this video, you know what to do. And if anybody could benefit from this video, there's a share button. Please take this video and share it in another Facebook group, in your Weight Watchers meetings. We could share it here at tons of Weight Watchers. I have so many Weight Watcher coaches that come to this channel. It's crazy. And I am so grateful.
I didn't get that. Oh. Could you try again?
Okay, Siri. Thanks for watching. We will dish another day. I will see you tomorrow for the day in the life vlog, which I'm filming right now. Have a great day. And we're going to go get a haircut. Bye-bye, my lovelies.